Yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome into Not Trust the Tape, unless it is Trust the Tape. It's good to see you. We have some things to cover with the Dallas Cowboys today. And I got a comment yesterday from somebody who asked what happened to the Cavanaugh thing. And the answer is that my equipment's been weird about that one drop. And so I've tried. I just reloaded it. You tell me if it still comes through garbled. I'm Jeff. Cavanaugh! Did it come through clean?
Good. Yeah, clean. Good.
Cavanaugh. Chat, did it come through clean for you guys? Because if it did, we're fixed, and that would be incredible. So there's that. Next to me, of course, is Bryan Broaddus, 105.3 The Fan, and everywhere else in the world is where you
try my best, Jeffrey. Try my best.
For your former
got a son at the University of Texas. It's a junior that my son gave me a spreadsheet the other day of what my expenses for him are going to be in the coming year. Yeah. And I'm going to have to do about 75 more podcasts with you to kind of make sure that all works out really well. Yeah.
I don't know if we had enough people here yet, guys. Tell me, does this sound okay?
Yeah.
It's been coming through garbled. I fixed it. Okay. All I did was, it doesn't matter what I did.
I don't know what you did, but you did.
Hell yeah. Okay, so we got Michael Irvin said the Cowboys got to add a big-time wide receiver, and he said they got to do it in the draft, which means, ta-da, that gives us a topic to kick around. How many guys in this thing qualify? Not that we're done or anything. I failed miserably. I tried to do a mock draft yesterday, and I was like, maybe I could go 2 rounds, Brian. And you know what happened? I failed miserably. I got to the second round.
Couldn't go 2 rounds, could you?
All the guys that I've seen are gone mostly, or it was guys that I wouldn't pick there, and I was just sitting there staring at the camera like, sorry, guys. See you next week. We'll try again. So
kind of feel like this thing when it's all said and done, and I finally I've got to the point where I could put my guys on my my spreadsheet, where I could do them by rounds and then stack them by position.
Oh, I've already got that, Brian.
And I kind of feel like that that situation, there might not be 18, 20 names as first round grades. This thing might be 15 to 17 first round grades.
All right. I sent my board in the chat.
Did you really?
How many do I have? You tell me if any of these aren't first rounders. Travis Hunter, Will Johnson.
First round guys.
Malachi Starks.
First round guy.
Jalen Walker.
First round guy.
Abdul Carter.
First round guy.
Here's where I might lose you. Michael Williams, Georgia.
He's going to end up in the first round guy, but I think he's somewhere right on he would be on the cusp of that 15 to 16 for me.
Brandon Graham.
First round guy.
Kelvin Banks.
He would be kind of close to the cusp.
Simmons, the Ohio State offensive tackle.
See, now there's the knee injury, but he's a first round grade on my board.
Campbell, LSU tackle.
He is a first round grade.
Tet McMillen.
First round grade.
Luther Burton.
First round grade.
I might lose you here. Emeka Ibuka. Have you seen him yet?
Oh yeah, no, he's a great player. And him and Burton. What's interesting is if you talk to people around the league, they will say there's some things we're going to have to dig in on Burton about.
Uh-oh.
And Ibuka is a really, really clean player. And if you're looking,
I'll flip him right now on the board. Watch me work. That's all
I need to hear. No! Don't get influenced by me. I mean, your eyes tell you a lot. I'll tell you what. I try not to get influenced because people are. I love Burton, and he's from Missouri, the wide receiver from Missouri. Very similar to Ibuka, though, from Ohio State. If you look at the way that the play style, I just wonder if teams are going to have Ibuka a little bit higher than Burton just because of some of maybe it's not off field terminal stuff, but there's things that people are going to have to dig in on him about. And so I was alerted to that, but I still love Burton. I think that in this scheme, either one of those guys in Dallas's scheme, and I know you're going to get to this, that Michael Irvin and Jeff Cavanaugh think, and I agree with both of you guys on this about a wide receiver. I don't think they have one behind. I don't think they have one. And Turpin and all you could say, but they've got to redo this thing. Tolbert, Brooks, nah.
Well, I hate talking about wide receivers, but Michael Irvin said it, and it's become a thing.
Former great Hall of Fame wide receiver.
When a Hall of Famer talks, what am I going to do? Not talk about what he had to say? Yeah. Anyway, so those are all my first-round grades, plus Ashton Genty, and then I haven't seen the quarterbacks yet. So I think the number will still end up being 15, 16, something like that.
That's what I'm saying, though. I mean, to me, Williams is going to be right on the edge of where I'm at, I think, with this thing. So, yeah, it'll be Everybody's board's going to be different. It's always, I tell people, hey, enjoy your flavor of ice cream because my Rocky Road is not your mint chocolate chip.
Yep.
And, it's your board. And that's what's cool. Don't fight dudes on gals on their board. Just kind of just say, okay, this is where I have guys and stuff like that. And, everybody sees these players differently. So I'm kind of, like I say, I'm all about the discussion. But I would, with Ibuka and Burton, and man, I mean, there's some cats. I'd love to get a shot at McMillan. You're winning too many games to get a shot at McMillan. Man, he would be tremendous to me. Hey, Jeff, can I ask you a question real quick? We had this discussion on 105.3 The Fan.
I've heard
last night, and it turned into me and Wolchuk going at it pretty hard.
Well, you fight those youngsters, brother. You will fight.
Oh, he fought back. He fought back.
Eric, yeah.
He would fought back. And I don't know if you and I have ever had this discussion, and maybe the listeners will enjoy this one.
You want to fight again? I
don't want to fight. I just want to see where you're at on this one. If you were to draft Hunter, and you guys, it looks like to me the play him at wide receiver crew, or excuse me, play him at corner crew is stronger than the play him at wide receiver crew. I haven't talked to my gang of 7 about this, but I'm going to say, hey, where does your club have Hunter as wide receiver or corner? But it seems like the early indications are the cornerback crews winning the battle right now. My question to you, Jeffrey, is do you allow Hunter to be a primary punt and kickoff return guy as well?
I'll be honest with you, dude. I've never watched him do that. Was he there? I need to know, was he their kick or punt returner?
I'm just trying to say, would you allow it in a way of he can do it? Let's not fool ourselves. He
I don't
do this.
think so. I don't think I would. I think he's busy. I think he's going to have a lot to do. And he don't need to be also returning. I mean, if I had nobody on my roster for the job, I'm sure he's plenty capable, but no, I wouldn't be thinking about that when I picked him. I would be thinking about, all right, now we got to figure out, what does he want? What do we want? How does that line up? Which room is he going to be in? How often? And how are we going to do this? But I mean, I'm definitely playing him at receiver. If your team is convinced that he's even better at corner, and that's what he's going to do, I'd be like, that's fine. Just know that for 50% of the snaps, he's coming to my side too. Like,
I would play him at wide receiver. I think he's a dynamic player that way. But the room seems to be filled with guys and gals that feel like that he would be a better corner, and I'm cool. I'm cool with that. He's a tremendous player. The discussion I have is, and this is where Wolchuk and I kind of went at it. Wolchuk's like, no, I put him back there. He's dynamic. Wolchuk was basically saying, Bryan, you're a coward for not wanting to do that. And I said, listen, my experience is I can't replace him if he gets hurt. If he's back there
returning.
See, that's kind of where I was at. And he and I went at it pretty strongly about that because and then it turned into, well, we'll use him situationally. And I'm thinking, okay, situationally, fine.
Yeah,
but you argued this side of it as, and I was like going, and I understand his point. He's trying to get as many touches on the guy as he can. I can get it, but and then here's me ask Hunter talk why. Hey guys, it's just the draft. Just come on.
Why not? We're
just hang out with us today. Have some fun.
Damn you, Rock Drums 11.
I don't get people that just don't like just talk about the draft in general. I'm just saying though, the argument we had was about the if the guy, would you put him back there? I can't replace the player if he gets hurt. I just can't.
Bryan probably makes a good seafood boil from the super chat there. Thank you, Aquiles Jr.
Oh.
I don't know about seafood, but I mean, I'm sure there's nothing.
I do. I tell you what, I figured out steamed crab legs.
Guess you get the crab figured out.
I figured that bad boy out quick. Yeah,
that's good. I like that. Bryan's.
And now we come back because we push what cool. Just wondering. We talk about the draft here. We talk about football. We talk about things here. Not trying to piss anybody off, but geez.
Well, I pick a title before we go live. I pick a title.
I don't see the title. Bryan Broaddus on adding big. What did you say? Bryan Broaddus adding
big time receiver, and that we might talk about Tampa Bay Buccaneers and all that. So but whatever. Trevor,
that's a big time receiver, though, right?
Yeah, big time receiver. So come get some. And so what I wanted to do was just go through and like how many guys qualify? Because the Cowboys, it's not like the Cowboys have never tried to have another weapon next to CeeDee Lamb, right? You had the Brandon Cooks trade. Jalen Tolbert was a 3rd-round pick. They have they've picked other guys in other rounds. I'm trying to think, was there any up that high? Not really. And so the way that Michael Irvin spun it was he started to say they just need another big time receiver, and then he changed it. And he's like, and it's got to be in the draft. Like, I don't want your washed up guy. I don't want, whoever you're going to bring in. It's got to be somebody in the draft, which I think would limit you to the 1st or 2nd round, probably. And we may not be fully equipped to answer the question because there's guys I still
not yet
in this thing. But I do wonder, like, how many guys that we've seen would qualify as adding a big time receiver to help CeeDee Lamb. And I think my answer is going to be at least, I would count Travis Hunter, but I don't think we're going to have that option. And so I think my answer so far is at least 4 guys qualify.
Sure. I kind of feel like though that I've seen the Stanford kid.
Yeah, I haven't seen him yet.
Yeah. He's more of a 2nd round type of a guy. But if you went another position, in the 1st round, he would be he would qualify on my board. I've got to learn how to say this kid's name.
You'll get it figured out. Initials.
Your Manor.
Your
Manor.
Well, let's see how this thing plays out. When I did my mock draft yesterday, Brian, they effed me. They effed me right in the because no quarterback was taken in the top 13. And so I got effed. And so I say that to say,
did you have the ability to trade back in your mock draft?
I traded back.
Oh, of course you did. When those quarterbacks, so you traded your spot at how far down did you go?
I went down like 3 spots, and I got a 3rd round. I got a 3rd round pick out of it. I went down.
Who'd you trade to?
Who's at 17? I think I went to 17. So I don't know. And I don't remember who they picked. And I took Mike.
Who was on the board? Do you remember who was on the board for you?
Michael Williams was one of my 1st round grades. Michael Williams and the Ohio State offensive lineman Simmons were my only 1st round grades.
See, if you gave me a choice between those two, I would
Simmons
take
went in my trade down. He went before I got back up. So I let them work it out for me to where I had 1 1st rounder left, bang. And I'd added a pick, kicked ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Thoughts on trading for Garrett Wilson? He's on the block. Dude, I'd take Garrett Wilson in a heartbeat. Garrett Wilson's a baller. Yeah. So anyway, for Michael Irvin purposes, Tet McMillen would certainly qualify.
Big time player. You probably won too many games for Tet McMillen, I would guess. Unless we have a CeeDee Lamb situation where we think CeeDee is the top 6 player and he ends up at 17th.
And if somebody else like Travis Hunter goes, and if another team likes, one of the other wide receivers better than him, all it takes is somebody who's picking a wide receiver to like Burton better or maybe Ibuka better. And then maybe, but he definitely qualifies. If you wanted to put, and I think he would fit on this team really well too, because they like to move CeeDee around and let him be that guy. And you can be like, hey, Tet, take your 6'5" pterodactyl wingspan ass out there, go wrestle with corners and go run a bunch of slants where they can cover it as good as they want. It doesn't matter because you're too damn big. Tet McMillan's fun, gigantic man, fluid
catches the ball. Yeah, I never see the ball get to his body. Everything's out front, and just he's a tremendous player.
Here's a fun question: when you two scout wide receiver, what is your process? You're smarter than me, so I'll start, and then you can tell me how you can tell them how messed up my process is. My process is I just watch, and why I think anybody could do this to different levels. If you like football, football, you've watched a lot of football, because I think at its core, all you're doing is saying, why? Like, oh man, that guy didn't get open. Why? Oh crap, he does get open. Why? And then you're just writing down the thoughts, which is just, okay, what happens if a ball is in the air and there's a guy near him? Does he win anyway? Why? Is he able to get away from the guys who are trying to put hands on him? Why or why not? Does he drop the ball? All right, now he's caught the ball after the catch. Is he breaking tackles? Why or why not? And you're basically just writing down why or why nots.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, you add them up and you go, holy crap, that is a lot of why he's winning. And you got a lot of why he's winning. Well, welcome to the first round, baby.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that. You absolutely. I've trusted you over the years with your evaluations of the wide receivers. I think you have a lot of good whys and why nots. Vach and I were talking about it last night on our podcast. We're doing all right about the fact that we've looked away. And I know somebody in the chat here I took a peek. They asked me about Isaiah Bond from Texas.
Well, he's tough.
And the problem that I have, the thing that Vach and I were agreeing on last night was we were talking about route runners. We're talking about size, and we're talking about the ability, we're talking about how we've been burned in the past by the smaller run by you guy, and where does the smaller run by you guy come into play, the slider built guy? When I look at Bond, I think of Marvin Mims from Oklahoma. Is who
started making some plays this year for Denver.
He sure did, and it helped the quarterback situation, the coach situation helped. Same type of build, same type of speed, same type of, there's all these parallels there. And, we've seen these guys. We've seen the John Rosses and the stuff like that, these run by you guys. I've got to the more of the pack, trying to find more guys like what you get, the Lad McConkeys, with how he's playing. It doesn't have to be a run by you guy. It could be a really good route runner that could separate and catch the football. Speed is important in the league. I get it. Reliability catching the football is even more important.
Oh, Bryan, we've both moved to where we want all of our receivers to be like 6 foot, 6'1", 190, 195 pounds.
I live. This is why I love the Missouri kid and the Ohio State kid. This is why, because they're
normal sized but strong.
Normal. But see, that's the same. McMillan is a little bit of a different guy, but he catches everything. He's a bigger guy. He's going to run well enough. But I'm watching these teams play in the league, and I'm watching these guys, the Puka Nakuas and people like that are really good route runners that separate and catch the football. And so I'm kind of like against this run by you guy. People are going to say, well, what about Hill at Miami? Hill's built like a running back. If you look at him, and John Dorsey drafted
Burton, he's if Luther Burton ran even faster and could go win 50-50 balls.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill is one of one.
Yeah.
He's a freak show.
See, but that's what I'm saying. John Dorsey got that one because of the character stuff. Sure, he'd been a much higher player, but I just kind of feel like, and see, here's somebody in the chat saying Tet feels like Drake London all over again. Nah.
I would say to Chad, are you saying that as a negative? Drake London's a baller.
I think that to me, Drake London, to me,
I fear the
I feel like McMillan's a better player than London, but I feel like, though, to me, that there's things when you watch Drake London play, he'll go get that ball. And that's what McMillan will do here.
I don't think that's a terrible comp, because I was trying to figure it out. Like, it's not Mike Evans.
Yeah.
It's not maybe T. Higgins. And I don't know. I don't have a great comp for Tet. I'm a little bit wary of the big guy who doesn't separate. He's really good.
You know what, though?
But I fear the big guy.
You fear the big guy, but the big guy makes plays.
All over the place, yeah.
Give me the big guy that might have to deal with some contested catches that I know will catch the ball, as opposed to the little dude who is just run by you guy and does nothing else. I agree,
and that's why I think we've both settled in the middle. We're like, why aren't they all just 6'1", right around 200 pounds, good after the catch, and separate well?
Yeah.
That's all
there's problems that I have now watching players. I mean, there are really some, and I've really tried to kind of, because of the way the game's developed, trying to kind of come into a different mindset. Okay, well, guys like this play now, but it used to be speed. Speed's great until you just start dropping every damn ball, or they can't get you the ball, you know?
Rock Drums is trying to get you to start a scout school. Maybe that'll pay for Bennett's last 2 years. If you want to just do a little online scout school for the people.
I tell you what, me teaching scout school probably not a good idea. I mean,
You fighting people?
no, not fighting people though, but like I said, it would. I feel like I've done my teaching, like you and KT and
Boy, you've left
David
your
Helman.
legacy in the hands of the wrong people, brother.
No, I mean, I think you guys have done a hell of a job. I mean, look at Dane Brugler. I mean, he and I mean, Dane, when he started out, I mean,
There you done good.
Dane Brook, no, we've done good, but I enjoy this medium more than I would sitting in a class or something like that, like teaching folks stuff. But I appreciate the confidence that I could do it. They're asking about
What are they asking about?
these guys. Just looking, this guy's asking about Flanoy. I don't think any of these wide receivers can play for the Cowboys behind Lamb. Me personally,
Yeah, I mean,
I don't trust it. You can't tell me that just one catch a game is a good thing. No, I
no,
can't.
and I think the fact that they rotate like who's in and who's out and who's playing and who's not, like they don't even know. And it's
Yeah.
the answer is that outside of CD, they got nothing. Cooks is
Yeah,
at
they
the
really
end,
don't.
and everybody else. Like I get it. I mean, if you told me Flournoy was going to play 60 snaps and have 10 targets, I'm interested in seeing it. But I think the reason that that's not happening is because it's the same reason you're not seeing Trey Lance. It's just like, no, we already know. Like we know what we got.
Well, I think me personally, I think that this is just my theory on Trey Lance real quick, Jeff. I know you and I haven't talked about this one. I think they're purposely not playing Trey Lance, and it might be because of ability. You might be absolutely right.
Keep the price tag down to have him come back.
Bingo. I think they don't want. I don't think they want Trey Lance to have any type of success that somebody might come in and say, "Listen, that we think that you're this type of a player," and give him more than what Dallas is willing to pay. I think they're purposely keeping him on ice to be the backup quarterback for Dak Prescott next year at a much cheaper price than what they're paying now.
That's fun. And then Cooper Rush could keep balling and go get us a comp pick. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. No, that's what I'm saying. That Cooper Rush. You move on from Cooper Rush, but you know what Cooper Rush is. Cooper Rush is not going to win you games, and Trey Lance might not win you games either. But I bet you they're thinking, let's not play Trey Lance any of these games. Let's not give him any type of a look. People, if they want to evaluate Trey Lance, let them evaluate the preseason tape from last year and go from there. And if you think, yeah, there you go.
I want to circle back. To the Michael Irvin thing because I want to exhaust our list. And we may have mentioned these guys and maybe given people a little bit.
By the way, I'm looking at the chat again. I'm sorry, Jeff. My eyes are focused over here sometimes. The Jack Beck, I haven't seen him at TCU. So
I saw him a little bit as I started watching their other receiver, and it cracked me up. Have you had any moments where you're watching guys and hilarious stuff happens?
Yeah, when sometimes when they see Lee Corso on the sidelines, or the ball goes out of bounds and it hits the mascot. That's another
bounce
funny
house
thing.
In the end zone.
Bounce house at Hobart College with that was a great.
That was good. Yeah. Penn State's tight end I was watching, and it was hilarious. Like the first half against
Warren.
First half against USC, he lines up as the quarterback for Wildcat. He motions to under center to be the QB sneak guy. Yeah. He throws a pass from Wildcat. He lines up as the wing in a 3-man offensive line while they're doing trick plays. It was hilarious. And then I turned on a little bit of TCU to watch their other wide receiver, Savon Williams. I don't know how to say it. And same thing. I'm looking for this guy. I'm like, his stats aren't that impressive, but they got this Jack guy. And then I see Williams lined up as the quarterback for half the damn game, and he's running the ball. And I'm like, what in the crap is happening? And I'm having a great time. That's all.
Yeah.
So anyway, but for Michael Irvin, Tet McMillen is one of your options if he's available. And then we do get down to thumbnail on Luther Burton, the Missouri wide receiver. We have mentioned him, but you're rocked up. Like I think the comp is over. No, he's not the same player. They're different players. I was going to say Deebo Samuel. Like, I'm just trying
plays in the backfield, kind of like him, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to draw the thumbnail of the not tall and not huge.
Yeah.
But well built. And it's just like, get him the ball and watch how much it sucks to tackle him.
See, but that's the thing about it is, I mean, his production last year was much better than it was this year. And so there's some questions There's people are asking a lot of questions about this cat. They're asking a lot of things, and so I'm just curious what how this is all gonna shake out for him.
Okay.
Because they're yeah.
All right, you're gonna have my head on a swivel now. We're gonna have to have eyes on because every time we hear these things, I got to go find these things. And then everybody, I think at this point, is getting used to my love affair with Emeka Ibuka, the Ohio State wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of similar to Jackson Smith and Jigba all over again, who's having his big breakout year with the Seahawks right now, where you're just talking about, route running dude that will block his ass off.
There you go.
That just he is solid at everything. He's the right size. They'll motion his ass out from a wing position to go lead block on a screen because he's a dog in that way. I don't think he's like hyper explosive after the catch or a go get my football guy. But if you want very steady, I think number 2 wide receiver play for an NFL team for the next decade, Ibuka just seems so safe. Like you're just he catches everything.
Yeah.
He lines the ball up perfect. Everything is calm and in control. Oh, he's good.
Brian Stablein, I think Brian Stablein's the coach at Ohio State, and
Heartline.
they put Heartline. I thought Stablein. It's Heartline, and as another player, and so he's put a lot of kids in this league. He's put a lot of kids in the league, and they're well coached. They're precise in the way they play. This kid's a great athlete. I watched the special on him. I was just curious about him. I watched the special about him. He took up golf just to take up golf. He's got to swing like a professional golfer now. Seriously. I mean, the way he's built, it's like he gets the club in the perfect slot, his balance, his finish. And the dude just took up golf. And Ohio State has one of the best golf complexes in the country because Jack Nicklaus went there and all that. So Ohio State, big time golf. And his swing, I don't think there's anything this kid can't do. When you watch him catch a ball, run a route, block, do whatever he has to do, played in huge games throughout his career, and been super productive in the way he's played. But then you watch him as an athlete. His dad's really important in his life. Dad's really involved in a good way. It just is such a, when you start to talk about the player and you always mention about, hey, give me the guy that has the least amount of holes in him, and that's one of those kids. That is absolutely one of those kids. He's as solid as a rock when he plays.
He's one of the dudes that as they keep winning games and moving down, I'm like, that's fine. Now I can feel better and better about picking that guy. I can just feel better and better.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it'll be fine.
Hey, where do you think the runner is going to go? I know we all have a running back. We all have a running back, where we kind of who we would take, who we wouldn't take. When you start to talk about, to me, kids that have the least amount of holes in him, he's one of those guys. So, but I'm just curious, where do you think?
I think he goes comfortably before the Cowboys pick.
I saw Tankathon, I think, had a mock draft just because I was looking at
trying to look at where is he off limits, and is he off limits in Vegas?
Yeah,
I don't think one will be.
Tankathon had Dallas picking at 14, and they had him taking the Missouri wide receiver, and so at 13 was Cincinnati right ahead of them, and they had Genty going to Cincinnati at 13. And is that the range where you think he's going to be taken, somewhere between?
I'll say the top 14, Brian.
14, yeah,
Dallas or someone in front of them. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a top 5 or 6 pick. That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, we just watched Bijan and Gibbs go in the top 12. I wouldn't be surprised if a team and if they don't love, because again, I don't think it's a blue chip offensive tackle or pass rusher or corner draft.
The rusher clearly is the Penn State kid.
I mean, I think he's a project too, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I want him, but I think that's
there's no, like I said, these offensive tackles, I like them. As the great Walter Juliff, I used to work with, scout for the Cowboys a long time. Walter says, I like them, but I don't love them, and that's, it's not as clear cut as where we saw last year with this offensive tackle group.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Genty goes before the Cowboys pick, but who knows? If he doesn't, he could fall into their lap, and even into their lap, I think there's a lot of people that wouldn't like that pick. I think I would be fine with it because I've started stacking the players, and I think I've got him at number 2 in this draft.
Genty?
Yeah. Yeah, like he's an awesome prospect. And if you don't feel
I don't. I mean,
other positions you don't want to miss. So like screw it. Go ahead.
You stack the board how you would take the guys and see, that to me, I'm proud of you, Jeff. I know how you talk about team building and running backs, but if you think he's the second best player in the country, good for you. Because there's people like, oh, I'm not going to take a running back, and they'll bury the kid. And that's not fair to the kid. The kid is one of the best players in the country, regardless of the position. He is one of the best players in the country. That kid at Colorado, one of the best players in the country. Kid at Arizona, one of the best players in the country. Right now, when you look at him, and so I'll be interested to see where he's, where he goes.
Bryan, are the Cowboys going to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Probably not.
All right. Thank you for your analysis.
No, probably not.
No, it was in the title. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to get it in. I'm actually
and I say this, and I think there's some things that Tampa does defensively that.
Oh, you're really going to do the analysis stuff?
Just real quick.
Okay. Go ahead.
Offensively, Baker Mayfield is playing very, very well. He's prone to a mistake every once in a while, but you look at where Tampa, what you have to deal with the wide receiver with Evans. Otten is a good receiver. They're doing a good job of getting the ball out pretty quickly, and they're not going to sit there and take a bunch of sacks and allow a bunch of pressures. Their line is played together quite a bit. When they don't play with the right tackle, they have a guy, Justin School, that comes in, and he's really bad. If School comes in, then they're going to struggle with the pass protection, but he hasn't had to play. The running the ball, we all understood where we all understood the situation with the running back there. When you look at Bucky Irvin, we all watched him, at Oregon, and the way he played. Him and White, they catch the ball very, very well. So Dallas had problems dealing with the flat pass running backs, that kind of thing. Pretty much the same this week. Get ready for that. That's White and Irvin catch the ball a lot in the flat. Baker Mayfield's going to throw it short, and that's how that's going to work. Defensively, though, they really, really struggled with injuries in the secondary, and they play a lot of zone coverage. They like to blitz the secondary. Their linebackers, David, makes a lot of plays as a blitzer, so that's going to create some problems. Vita Vea. It's funny about Vita Vea. They played better run defense with him off the field than on the field, which is really kind of strange. They've got some talent. The problem is their secondary plays. Like I say, you played Carolina last week that played a lot of off coverage and gave you cushion. This is a very similar group that way. They just do not want to give up big plays. That's the whole plan. They're going to play zone. They're going to play single high, and they're going to not try and give up big plays. Is your quarterback good enough to make plays? Are your receivers good enough to make plays? You have one receiver that's going to make plays. Everybody else might have one catch, and it might be a big play, but it's not going to be enough. Tampa's going to score a lot of points, or not a lot of points. They're going to score more than you can. Your defense is probably going to play well, but not well enough for your offense to win.
So good news is, if you win, you'll feel good because you won. And if you lose, you'll feel good because you're getting closer to the goal of a higher pick. And that is this week's edition of Is It the Hot Dog or Is It the Bun?
Now, this is a hot dog bun.
I think it's a hot dog, too.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brian.
Glad we can agree on the hot dog.
I'm going to ask you about vests next time we talk. I want to know about the vest because I don't own a vest. And I'll
get you one for the holidays.
I'm confused by the vest. If you're in here right now, please hit the like button and tell me, do you own a vest? Yay or nay? That's what we need to know. Have a great day. All right. We will catch up on, what's today, Thursday? So we'll catch up on Monday. Yeah. God, right after a Sunday night game. See you Monday morning, Brian. Remember, you guys, that you have no idea, none, what anyone's going through. So be cool to everyone. We love you. Be easy.